Good morning, Shred Nation. Welcome back to the School of Shred. This is the show that's designed to help you shred your old and make better your new, baby. Let's shred some old. Let's shred some body fat, and we're going to talk about shredding body fat through recovery today. I want to go over some recovery principles. That's what we're going to talk about on this show. Before we begin, the show is here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and it is also going to be available on Spotify as well as iTunes for your listening pleasure. If you just want the audio for these, you can take the school on the school on the go. There's a lot of S's and a lot of the things I say here in the beginning. I tend to stutter through it sometimes. But anyway, that's that. We had two classes last night for the School of Shred. I had class 101 and 102. It was a terrific night. It was very fun doing our training. So as you listen to this show and you get the advice that you might be looking for, hopefully I'm providing some value for you or entertainment, whatever you are here for. But if you want to join an online health academy and join my academy where all of the stuff I'm talking about on this show, like what we're going to talk about today with recovery, this is all formulated and packaged in a very organized manner when you come to the School of Shred with weekly assignments. Okay, so you get an assignment every week. You have a book. For those of you watching, I'm holding up a book. For those of you listening, I'm holding up our official School of Shred student playbook. It's a 230-page book that you get when you're at the school to log workouts, to log your daily routines. We have something called the daily grind that we do, which is a combination of gratitude practices, nurturing your development. There's also some visualization drills and journaling and all that. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. And this online health academy that I have put together was designed to kind of take the gloves off a little bit on what I feel like will get somebody results. Because what I do with my in-person practice, when I'm in person with somebody, it's a very mechanical approach. I take a very mechanics-based approach. I train, typically I train a demographic of folks who have a lot of injuries and limitations, and they need a mechanics-based approach where I custom fit exercises around them, and use a lot of different cool concepts, and use exercise mechanics, which is a combination of joint mechanics, resistance mechanics, and muscular mechanics. But when I created the Online Health Academy, it was one goal in mind, and that was to give people a community to go to for all things health. And so health to me is happiness. Health to me is fulfillment and living in gratitude. So I have made this program much more than just diet and exercise. It's really a self-development program, and things that have changed my life over the last 12 years since I moved over to the big city. And I've talked about before on the show how I struggled with depression and came from low income and stuff like that. And there are some things that have really helped my mindset as time's gone on. And I'm sharing all that stuff inside the school. And with that, I made it a school, not a client type program, like a personal training program. It's obviously a personal training program, but it's structured in a way to kind of make it fun, where you're a student and you have other students with you that are in class, and we share like you would. And if you're in a classroom, and you get assignments every week that are through a membership site at theschoolofshred.com. And we also have a full community chat where I actually jump on every day and do live Q&As to your questions that you have, kind of in a format like this. If you're watching from Facebook right now, or YouTube, or Instagram, where you're watching me and you can type in the comments, basically that's how our community chat goes, is where I jump on, you can get troubleshooting, and you can get answers to any questions that you have on the day, whether it's about the assignment or filling out the book, or any other question you have as it relates to health and fitness. And this whole program is designed to give you a self-development space with like-minded individuals. So there's a bit of a community aspect in it. There's also a great deal of learning. So that's the School of Shred is. That's what I do. And so we're going to talk about some recovery principles, which is the third module out of the School of Shred Online Health Academy. There's 5 different course curriculums that we work out of at the school, and recovery is one of them. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about basically the big 3 that I made some notes on today that I can go over with you. And if you want to learn more, go to theschoolofshred.com. That's where you can sign up for your first 90 days of the school. If you want to just jump on the free email newsletter, you could go to schoolofshredpodcast.com. And if you just enjoy the free info, we are on 108 episodes, or we are 108 episodes deep on this show right now. So like I said, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, go to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, search The School of Shred. The only name that's different is my Instagram handle. That's at John Reed Fitness. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. So we're going to talk about recovery principles, and I was just kind of having fun looking up, what is the definition of principle? Okay, so in a principle, the dictionary says that it is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as a foundation for a system of belief or behavior of a chain of reasons or reasoning, or a chain of reasoning. So basically, this is what we're going to talk about is kind of a framework of recovery, all right, which is just something that I kind of slapped together that I feel like explains recovery and should be pillars inside of your recovery, inside of your health and fitness. Okay, so if you're looking at your recovery vault and what are you doing for your recovery right now, you're probably doing some things to gain muscle and lose body fat through exercise. You're probably eating, a nutritious meal or a nutritious diet plan in your nutrition, and then you have recovery. And so let's talk about that. The three things we're going to get into here, the three pillars, okay, that lay the foundation for recovery, I feel as a coach, is sleep, nutrition, and respiration. We're going to break into those here real quick. So as for sleep, we have, we want to look at quantity and quality, right? So quantity is talked about a lot. Quantity is very important. You don't want to skimp on sleep. Sleep deprivation has been shown to elicit pre-diabetic fasting glucose ranges. I've actually noticed this when I get less sleep, my blood glucose is much higher in the morning. Hunger hormones like ghrelin, they are higher. You're going to be hungrier. You're going to be less insulin sensitive. So you're kind of getting like a 1-2 punch if you're not sleeping enough. Okay, so if you're not sleeping enough, you're getting this mild insulin resistance, higher blood glucose numbers, but then you're also going to be hungrier, so you're more likely to overeat. And when you overeat in a state where you're not metabolically flexible, that could lead to inflammation and weight gain. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night is really key. But within inside that 7 to 9 hours, we're looking for quality. And so some things we can do for quality is sleep in a cool room. So the optimal sleeping temperature is about 64 to 66 degrees. All right. So there's many ways you can do this. You can have a fan on. You can have, you could even take a hot shower right before bed, because what happens is your body has to cool your system, and that actually, it cools your core temperature if you take a shower or a bath right before bed. You could open the window if you wanted to, although, it's a little bit cold here this time of year, but some people do it. And then I have something called an Ooler, which is this device that it's like a bed topper that runs cold water underneath you while you sleep, which is pretty cool. This is a quality investment. I'm very happy I got it. It really has worked out well. So like in the summertime, it keeps the bed cool. In the wintertime, it keeps it right at the right temperature. So because 55 degrees during the winter, I found was a little too cold for me. But in the summertime, I'm sleeping at 55 degrees. And then right now I got it up at like 75. But anyway, so that's what I do to cool my body, but there's a few ways you can do it. So just know that a cool room is important. So like blasting the heater right now, because we're getting into the winter months, might not be the best idea. If you are hot, you're going to be tossing and turning, and it's going to be altering your sleep cycles. So you want it to be cool so you can clonk out and be dead-ish for 7 to 9 hours. And then we also want a dark room. So some people wear those little eye things. I have heard, and from some smart people, that apparently mitochondria, they're within your skin. Your like these receptors that are within your skin, they can sense if there's light around you. So you want a completely dark room, not just dark goggles or whatever those things are that people will wear. So blackout curtains are a great investment. You can get online. They're not that expensive. Pop those bad boys up if you have any windows in your room. You want your bedroom to be so dark that even when your eyes adjust, you still can't see. Okay, so that's kind of a good metric. Like for me, there's a street light that's outside. I have a bedroom, bathroom, and if the door's open to the bathroom, that light will come through. So I always have the door shut, and then I have the blackout curtains up. So that's, you just got to kind of figure out what your environment is like in your bedroom, and you need to try and hack that. Then the next thing is blue light blocking. You can block blue light in 60 to 120 minutes before bed. There's multiple ways to do that. We go deep into that in the School of Shred, and I guide people on how to do cool stuff like that. But that's ways to create a strong pillar of recovery through sleep. The next one is going to be recovery. So, or not recover. The next one's going to be nutrition. So nutrition is a big pillar in the recovery foundation, or the recovery vault here. And some things that we want to look at is an anti-inflammatory diet. So when we cease inflammation and we eat an anti-inflammatory diet, what we are doing is allowing for our bodies to recover quicker. And so that's a recovery principle. We can do that through focusing on digestive health. You've heard me talk about gut health before. If you go and sign up for the newsletter right now, if you haven't done that already, go to go to schoolofshredpodcast.com, and what you will get is a free guide to gut health, which can help reduce inflammation and increase recovery efforts. But anybody who's already got that, you've read that there's a lot of different tips that I give out on there, and that's real important. It's not about how much food that you eat. It's about how you digest, absorb, and assimilate and make use of inside your body. If you have something like leaky gut, you might be having an immune response when you eat certain foods, even if they're deemed healthy by the rest of society. So that's an interesting one to note. So, digestive health kind of bleeds into eating this anti-inflammatory diet. Another thing for recovery is going to be having enough cholesterol. Cholesterol is a sex hormone, or produces sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, DHEA. And so we need a good amount of cholesterol. Our bodies can make it, but we can assist in better HDL levels if we eat it. So I talked about, what was it? I think maybe Monday this week. Yeah, we went into, I think it was, episode 106 that we talked about post-workout nutrition. And I brought up cholesterol, which is probably not on people's radar right now for spiking it post-workout. But this is all stuff that Vince Girondo is this old epic bodybuilder, natural guy. He was very heavily into the cholesterol thing and understood what it did. And he was real forward thinking and knew that higher cholesterol numbers can actually help testosterone, and which will help recovery, which helps muscle, which helps bone, which helps insulin sensitivity, which leads to overall health. So having enough cholesterol can help you recover because it can help recovery hormones. And then fats, having enough fats, every cell in your body is wrapped in a layer of fat. So fat is important. It's also anti-inflammatory, especially if you're doing something where you're burning some ketones throughout the day and you have that metabolic flexibility that we talk about. So that can be really good. And then carbohydrates can help with recovery. So if you do carbohydrates later at night and you spike insulin before you go to bed, that can help reduce cortisol numbers because they are antagonistic. And so that can increase a parasympathetic, which is called a rest and digest response in layman's terms. And so that can help you sleep deeper, which helps get growth hormone and testosterone numbers up. And that is the nutrition side of the house for recovery principles. And the last thing that we're going to talk about here as we wrap up is respiration. What do I mean by that? Well, walking can help push blood around the system. It can help oxygenate the body. Red blood cells carry oxygen, and that is how we get nutrition and nourishment around our body. So if you're ever really sore, especially if you've done a gnarly leg day, and you might be sore for a couple days after, if you notice, the more you lay down and rest, the more sore you get. If you get up and go for a walk, that can really, really help. A lot of times if I have clients that they might be sore from the workout before, depending on who it is, I might have them actually do a light exercise hitting that same muscle again. And when they do this, it actually pushes blood in there and heat, and then they are not sore anymore. But as far as respiration goes, having a pillar of breathing techniques will help recovery. And the way that we can do that is through walking. And when we're walking, specifically, if we can do nasal breathing, one of the things that I do is I actually tape my mouth shut when I go for a walk. Yes, I tape my mouth shut with a piece of Scotch tape, and I force myself to breathe out of my nose so I don't have to think about it. I also sleep like this. That's where I learned it from, was doing mouth taping at night. So you could mouth tape and go for a walk. And what happens when you breathe through your nose is you decrease your heart rate, which can help increase a rest and digest response, which helps you recover more. And you're actually getting more oxygen utilization that way. There's more filters that oxygen and air has to go through when you breathe through your nose as opposed to your mouth, and that's actually very beneficial. So that's why respiration is important. Specifically, nasal breathing can help, and then meditation is the other one. Next to walking, that I would say for respiration, which helps you de-stress the body, declutter the mind, and helps you drop that cortisol hormone if it's spiked too much. Now, remember, we want cortisol, we want epinephrine, we want norepinephrine. All those guys are important for us, especially if we're going to the gym. But the thing is in order for you to be able to train really hard and get the results that you want, you have to recover. You have to think about this thing as one part, going hard in the gym, doing what you need to do to gain weight and to get the result that you want. But then the other part is to recover the body, because that's where the gains are made. And so meditation can physiologically help you reduce these stress hormone numbers if you do it outside of your workout. So when you're working out, you're trying to stress the body. That's a calculated stress. But then we want to get rid of that stress when we bookend our day. So in the morning and at night. Okay. So those are the 3 recovery principles that we just kind of hit some bullet points on, which was sleep, nutrition, and respiration. Those 3 recovery principles can help you build a foundation of recovery into your plan and into your life. So that's episode 108. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. So go ahead and ask questions. We got them coming in on Instagram. We're getting ready for tomorrow's, shout out to Instagram. We're getting ready for tomorrow's Q&A Friday for Friday the 13th. I just realized tomorrow's going to be Friday the 13th. Ooh. So anyway, ask your questions. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. With that, I want you to stay strong and healthy in body, stay relentless and energized in spirit, and stay determined in your pursuits. That's spell shred. Now go shred the day and get better in every way. Thanks for watching. Until next time, class is dismissed.